What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the Man Cave Experience with myself, Cedric Edison, man, and my main man, Ron. What's good in your world, man? What's good?
Oh, I can't complain. Life is, for the most part, good. Just continue my journey of inner growth, connection with the family, putting good things out into the universe, trusting the results. Um, yeah, I'm in a good place. Just feeling just kind of serene right now. Just had a solid day, time with the family, and love being here with you. Just knowing that we're continuing this journey as great friends, exploring these topics that we come up with, and excited because I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but just really kind of curious. But welcome
Cool, cool.
to the listeners. Again, we never want you to feel like we don't truly appreciate you, whether you listen to a minute, 5 minutes, every episode, whatever that might be. We just appreciate you showing up for us, which means you're showing up for you. So thank you.
Yeah, appreciate the hell out of y'all, man. Taking your time out, whatever it is, to chill with us for a little bit. Man, my old neck of the woods, man. I'm pretty good. I'm like you. I have no complaints, man. I'm in a little dark area. I got a lot going on, business wise. Still with my full-time job, a lot of stuff. But it's crazy, man. I'm still on the up part of it all. So it's all good. And that's kind of like what made me even think about it, man. Because I posted earlier today, but it's something I've been telling myself here recently, man. Was peace be still. And like where that came from, man, was, like I got really, really scared, because y'all know, and if you don't know, I got my son Mosiah and now Kanisha talking about, yeah, I don't know if I told you that, man. She talking about she want another kid, man. I'm like, what? Like, hold on, wait a minute, man. So, and I got all of this, and then getting word that the company I'm with finna close, and it's like, yo, I still got all of this going on. And I've been connecting more with my higher power. And, in my belief, and as well as in coach, like I believe you can command things. Um, and it was two parts. Like I need to command peace to be in my life. It was just seeming chaotic. So when I was reading some scripture, and it was just where he commanded like the winds, like peace be still. And I was thinking like, man, how it was in that moment for them. It wasn't like, and I took it metaphorically. And I think, in that passage, and this was in the Bible, Moses was speaking to the winds and getting ready to part the sea, and said, peace be still. And in that moment, I was like, yo, it's not that anything really stops. And what I took from that was what he was saying really was to himself. He had to quiet his mind because that's where the peace resides at. It's not with anything going on, because you can ask, service members that been to combat, they could still be afraid, but in that moment still calm, with all of the chaos, but it was in their mind where they were really at peace in the midst of the chaos. And that's kind of where that came from. And I was like, yo, that's kind of what I want to talk about, is how we quiet our mind. Not so much as on the command part, but how do we tell, or do you even recognize when to tell yourself, peace be still? How do you quiet your mind? When do you quiet your mind and command that peace is in your life, so you're not trapped in that chaotic loop? Oh my God, what about this? What about that? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Instead of just saying, peace be still, and let's take this by the numbers, as we say in the military, step by step by step. So that's kind of what we're talking about today, y'all.
And you know that speaks to me, right? Because that's been my journey over the past 8 years of trying to experience peace, peace, internal peace. Because I think we know obviously the wars that go on in society. We know the actual wars where people are dying and experiencing these tragedies. But like you're talking about, what is going on in our minds that allows us to understand the wars that we create ourselves within our own lives internally. And man, peace is something that we all can use more of, and knowing that in this quest to experience this, there's going to be noise, there's going to be disturbance, there's going to be all these things that are going to come at you. But how do we process those as they come up? It's kind of like thoughts. I actually did a workshop today, and I once again shared the idea, which can seem overwhelming, that we can have anywhere from 60 to 80,000 thoughts in a day. And just knowing that that's normal, or can be normal, how do we move in this direction of creating this sense of silence to the point where we're not impacted at a level that's going to create this war within our minds? And what values we're putting on these energies that come up that take us away from the silence, knowing that it's going to come. And I'm a believer through my practice of letting go, slowly kind of letting go as these come up. They kind of surface, they rise up, kind of like the wave in the ocean, where this wave kind of comes up, this thought comes up, it identifies itself. This is a thought. Here I am. This is what I'm telling you. And then can we just subtly allow that thought to kind of move back into wherever it came from, and be open to that whole idea of silence, and not feeling like silence is something that is unachievable. Man.
I thought you might like that one. It's crazy, man. Like, until a couple of years ago, I would have told you was batshit crazy if you told me I could quiet my mind. I was like, man, kiss my ass, man. It's no way. It's impossible. Right? And it's crazy, but how much we allow ourselves to attach to the thoughts. And, that's kind of up my alley too a little bit, but, on the coaching, just not even allowing yourself to attach to it, because that creates that fear, and it just creates a lot of a lot of negative stuff. Not just fear, but just a lot of negative impact, and it causes you to stay in that loop. And it just amazes me even more to how much control we have over it. And it's not like it can happen overnight, and God knows it doesn't. Because the first time you do it, you be saying, peace be still, till you run out of breath. But if you really think about it, though, in saying that, all I'm thinking about is the statement, peace be still, or quiet the mind, or just thought. Because we said it all the time, and you laced me up with it the first time, was a thought is just a thought. And we allow it to become more. I remember seeing it somewhere.
It's not our thought.
Right. For one, if we get real deep on it, it's really coming from something like it's not even ours. It's just a program. Like, we can get real deep on that one. We might need to save that, because that can be a couple hours. Mm-hmm. And I agree. And just, damn, what I was talking about? Like, just letting a thought be a thought, and releasing it. because of all the negativity that it can. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Like how I saw somewhere, and maybe you can help me with it. Like what you think, what you think you'll do, or what you think you'll say, and what you say becomes your actions, and your actions become your habits. And it's crazy how all of like your habits and your day-to-day routine and how successful you are in your life, in your life across all areas, all stem through that initial thought and our attachment to it. You know, because if you can get to a point like you've been meditating for years, like over a decade, you know what I'm saying, every day. So you're at a level to where you can let that just be a thought. Although you're human, there's some you're going to attach to, just like any of us. But you can get to a level to where it's not as many. There's just beating you across the head and to where you can just, okay. So what if they think, you know, you're skinny in a tank top? So what? There used to be a time I would have never did anything like this, you know, but now it's okay. And I still do have fears like, okay, who cares what they think about a video you post? I haven't posted one in a while. There's a reason why I'm attached to that thought. And so, and now down to the actions, you know, and that's what, like, man, it's crazy. And I'm just amazed by how much control we have either way. Either way.
And I was thinking about my mom when we were speaking about peace, because one of her favorite songs I remember growing up was, oh, and I forget who sang it, but it was the lyrics that were meaningful for her and meaningful for me. When I look back on that, it was let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. So if you've never listened to that song, it'd be a great song just to go back and listen to. But you know, so I'm just, you know, kind of thinking about, you know, because we talked a while back about, you know, silence and how silence can be very powerful in our lives, you know, good or bad. It can be a negative force because we're not speaking, we're not communicating, we're not connecting. Or silence could just be like in meditation, where you're experiencing just the nothingness, just the gap, just silence. But when I'm thinking about peace, you know, peace can be so much more, you know, encompassing, because you could be in any situation in your life, you know, at work, being a father, you know, in a relationship, and still trying to tap into that peacefulness side of you, not the silence, like I can't speak or I'm not going to, you know, say anything. It's more, can I come from a place of connectiveness and love, and the energy that comes out of me is going to be something that's going to be, you know, felt in a way that's going to be, you know, beneficial. You know, something's going to feel good. It's going to be something that feels, you know, that's connecting to this peacefulness. And that, and again, that's another choice that we have, right? Somebody says something to us that we know just, you know, irks us, that it just pushes our button, right? And we know our behavior has always been this. You know, I know, because of my efforts to really be mindful of that you can change that. You know, you can come from a much more peaceful place. So peace is even a more enhanced version of this whole topic we talked before about, you know, the power of silence. It's this, you know, how can we live in peace internally? How can we put this peacefulness out in our lives to where, you know, we allow others to step into something that may not be able to understand, or have never experienced, just this whole, like, you know, I've shared with you, Cedric, and I know that listeners, I'm not sure if I've shared it with the listeners though, but I was working with a coach around peaceful parenting and how we can, you know, engage with our children coming from a place of peace and love, and experience a much different relationship versus coming from anger and fear and these ways that we've connected, you know, based on our own probably upbringing. You know, I remember back in the day, I would get spanked or yelled at, or, we can get the same message across, we can get the same result, or probably even a better result if we came from a place of peace. Just, what we need, what the undesirable behavior is, what we really need from that, and just the positive things that come out of coming from this place of peace.
Yeah.
And these are all
Man,
things. These are all things that are coming up for you because your son Messiah is going to be, becoming more and more aware. He's going to start communicating. All these opportunities are going to be right in front of you to have this true sense of peace. So I love that you're bringing this up now, because this is going to be part of your work every day of your life as you move forward. Just this whole idea of creating peacefulness in your life.
oh, trust me, that was a part of it too. Because when I posted it earlier today, that's where I was at. I was just like, Lord, peace be still. Because we got her goddaughter here, him, and my stepson. So it's like all of a sudden we got 3 kids in the house. And I was just like, oh, peace, be still. All right. All you got to do is just make sure they're fed and no bones are broken. At the end of the day, that's the 2 checklists, right? Oh, and fed.
But even during meditation, when I do instructional meditation, the challenge sometimes is sitting there in silence, and then you hear the dog barking or somebody walks into the room. That's life, right? So this whole idea of peace, peace is going to get disrupted. It's just
right.
How do we react, as a result of that? And that's up to us. I can't change, Cedric. If I say something to you and you react a certain way, it's not my job, nor can I, or nor should I want to change how you react to things. That's your job.
Right.
My job is just to worry, control, work on my reaction to things. And that's all I can do. And that's all I need to do.
Yeah, man, because I was hearing you talk earlier, man, and something that came up, I was like, man, I got to share how I do it, right? Because one, it's one of the things I noticed that stunted my growth to get to this point was a statement I hear a lot of people say, and it keys in all the time, like they're not willing to grow is, well, that, and it's something along these lines. That's just the way I am, or that's just who I am, right? So you could either stay in that space and continue to get those things, or be willing to recreate, renew yourself. Like, and to me, it's like renew is constantly like renew your membership. It doesn't stop. You're going to have to renew your contract, renew, right? And then there's the next part was that I do now is I try to put myself in the next person's shoes. If it's dealing with another human, they say something that pissed me off. Am I all the way 100% with it? No. Sometimes I still curse somebody out like I'm a Marine. It happens. I'm human, right? But for the most part, I try and put myself in their shoes, and what made me think about it, I got a calendar in there, and it put it on my mind that says something, be kind to everybody because everybody is fighting a hard battle. And you never know what's going on with that person. You don't know if the wife told them, wife or husband said, I'm leaving you, I'll be gone when I get back, and now they're the manager and they come in, all of that. We say leave it at the door as managers or whatever, but we all know that's fucking impossible because it's up here. I can't leave my mind out there. I can't forget. And it seeps out sometimes. So I had to, one, put myself in their position. And the hard one is a lot of the times I got to get the hell over myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, get over myself. Like, my agenda and my thoughts and my opinions doesn't always have to be in alignment with everybody else's. Where most times the conflict was there because you just had to know my side. I got to give you a piece of my mind. And not saying that I'm just going to allow it, but it's like how you said, how can it be beneficial? Sometimes it's let me put myself in there. I'm still going to tell you, like, upon it, how it comes. I'm still going to give you a piece of my fucking mind. But let me just put myself in your shoes and see how I would want to receive said information versus, you know what, you're a piece of shit versus, hey man, like I understand, you're just having that adult conversation and not saying, oh, it's just who I am. I give people a piece of my mind. No, that doesn't have to be who I am. So like you're saying, it is all encompassing. It can be peaceful actions, peaceful thoughts. It's way more, it's a bigger picture. And I know that's what, for me, man, that's some of the most important things. Like, put yourself in their shoes and then get over get over yourself. Like, who are you? Like, at the end of the day, who am I? And when you really look at it, I'm just another speck in this whole big old universe. So uh, all right, let me get over that and be a dot like all the other dots.
You're a pretty important spec, though, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, all of them that paint the whole beautiful picture,
So as you were saying that, I was kind of off topic, but I was thinking about how we. Now I lost my thought. What was I going to say? Wow, it was really profound too. It was going to amaze you. You were going to be like, where did you come up with that?
All right, like how we say in BAC, a writer downer, huh?
Oh, writer downer. Wow, it must not have been meant to come out at that point. So be it. But yeah, just this whole idea of what's available to us. I think when we're open to that, I think then things happen, right? Because I think sometimes we don't realize, or we don't think that we're worthy of experiencing peace, or we look at what's going on outside of us and we think that that's a true reflection of our life, and it's not. I mean, even when you look at what went on yesterday. Was it yesterday? The killing in Virginia Beach. That was my point. Knowing what's going on in somebody's mind and what could lead to that next action, and what might be possible if we kind of come from a place of this peacefulness and opening that up to others to really understand where we're at. Asking that question when you say something to somebody. This is what I'm hearing you say. Just the acknowledgement, right? Because we all want to be heard. We all want to be feel like we're important to a certain extent, or know that our opinion or experience or values are important for others to know that this is how I feel. So I was just kind of, as you were saying that, I was just thinking, how can we maybe make that an action in our life when you're dealing with that difficult person, and knowing that we all want to be heard, just acknowledging, I hear what you're saying. I recognize that you have a strong opinion on how you feel about this. And we've learned a lot in our coaching practice about asking for permission, right? This is what I acknowledge. I hear what you're saying. I understand you're frustrated, but are you open for me to share with you how I feel? And I think by doing that, you're asking, obviously, acknowledging how they feel. You're asking them if they're okay with you sharing how you feel. And I think that creates that peacefulness and allowing us to acknowledge and share and respect, how each other feels. At the end of the conversation, you still may have that, hey, I feel this way, you feel this way, and we're still at odds against each other. But I think if we can share more of that space together and acknowledge, what we would want to be acknowledged in ourselves, and give that gift to somebody else, I think that sense of peace, experiencing that sense of peace, might be more available to us, because we do get kind of stuck on what we need. I mean, screw you, as long as I get what I need, then I'm good, versus maybe we can both get something beneficial out of this. I'm hearing you, I'm acknowledging you, I want you to hear me and acknowledge me. Maybe that can create some peacefulness around this topic that, if we didn't do that, would be very contentious.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, because I'm noticing it more and more in the relationship. That attachment to me, and really just it's really like attachment to thought. Like, you gotta know my side. Like, I just need you to do I really need you to? Like, I want you to hear me so you can understand, but arguing that, like, trying to argue to the point to win them over onto my side versus, like how you said, I hear what you say, I know how you feel, and basically just agreeing to disagree
Yep.
and coming up with a way to coexist, you know. It's definitely possible, and in my opinion, like, it makes the world a better, way better place, because as long as we're attached to it and we're not open to being at that place, it's always going to just be a clash versus just a shake hand and let's sometimes not talk about it. We've discussed, now we know our pain point, cool. Whatever the case, you know. It's definitely possible.
Right. And we can't change what we might determine or look as being crazy, the crazy world that goes on outside of us. Yeah, I think we could all agree many of the things that we read, hear or read about in the news is just things that we've never experienced before. Um, and there's these things that we see happening over and over, and we interpret that as being crazy, or just all these things that we put a not a judgment but a title on, saying it's this, right, this happening is this. And a lot of those things we can't change, right, yet we attach ourselves to the world is crazy versus owning our, I guess Eric Nooner said that, right, owning our own crazy, and allowing just to tap into whatever we're experiencing internally and make that our life purpose, knowing that there's these things that are going to happen outside of us, but committing ourselves to this whole idea of peace, this whole idea of peacefulness, not just how we are feeling inside, but how can we open that space for others and allow them to experience some of our peacefulness in how we communicate, how we share ourselves, how we put things out into the world, knowing that we want to create change, we want to create less damages or less impacts that are affecting humanity. We get one shot at this, right? We get one shot of being the best possible person on this earth, and why not look at these things that we have within ourselves to really spend our time and energy and focus to do those things, and I wouldn't say let go of all these things that are going outside of us, because we can make a difference in the world by taking actions and helping the cause that we're connected to. But our journey has to begin with this internal peacefulness that we're trying to achieve, kind of like the other topics we talked about, the whole idea of putting the mask on. I know I keep bringing this up, but putting that mask on ourselves and getting air before we can help others. We have to be able to achieve and experience and value this sense of peacefulness inside of us before we can try to create this peacefulness in the world. It'll come. I think it'll naturally happen around us as we become more and more willing and able to connect to that. But hence the song I just mentioned, let there be peace on earth, and let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. I mean, that's part of our purpose.
Yeah. And that's funny that you even said it like that, man. Because I was thinking when you were talking about like the outside world, and it's there are some issues out there that's really, really real that we have to focus on. And for me, example, like I have to be in this climate right now. June 1st, I think it is. I have to look at this conflict that's going on between the Black community and the police. Now, I would say maybe just about 2.5 years, and this was even, yeah, I would say probably about 2.5 years ago, where a part of me was real strong, like, shit, we need to retaliate. Like, that'll get their attention. Like, we really need to go back to, like, let's just retaliate on them, right? But then it got to a point to where it's like, you know what? hearing all the time, you need to be the change you want to see in the world. And then that started to resonate. And it's like, okay, true, these are my emotions. I do feel hurt by what's going on in my community. And that is one way to go about it. It'll get some attention. Not necessarily saying, but we need to take like some very strong affirmative type action to get this attention. Now it goes to be the change you want to see in the world. And now I'm about peace, love, and all of this. Tree hugger, if that's what you want to call it, if you're just tuning in, whatever the case. But I understand that there are energies, or if you're spiritual, there are spirits that's going backwards and forth. It's a positive and a negative, just going back. So if I take, and it can come across my mind as positive, but if I take that negative action, that's only going to create more negative. And so just trying to get to a place to where I can still be true to how I feel, to what's going on, and still come from a loving place and a peaceful place, because it's nothing peaceful about me going out antagonizing police and trying to get themselves in a position to where I would be able to use some training and still be justified. There's nothing peaceful about that. Can it create change? Yes, of course. But is that the change that I'm actually, essentially looking for? No, because it's just going to cause more conflict. And now they don't trust people that look like me, and I don't trust them. And we both need each other in the world. So it's just now, okay, let me be an activist for getting the votes out. Like, let's learn how to go about doing this. Like, let's look at a finance, and that's other social political things. We won't really go there, but it's a peaceful way to go about everything. It's just a matter of being willing, like you say, let there be peace on earth, and let peace be me. Be the change you want to see. And question everything, question all of your actions. Is this the most beneficial? Well, one, does it benefit both sides? And is this action the most positive one that I can take right now? And that equals peace. And that will have your peace being still. Because in all the fucking chaos, black on black, and all the Trump, I don't care what you bring up, Virginia issue, all of those thoughts that you can have, if you just, how does it benefit everybody? And what's the most positive impact I can make to change whatever situation it is? That's peace in my mind.
Writer downer. I just realized the topic we'll never talk about here in the Man Cave: politics.
Yeah, because that could, yeah, buddy.
Wow, I mean, I had no idea that this was going to be the topic you came up with, and I'm just so grateful that this is something that we hopefully are able to give you, the listener, as well as something that really inspires us to commit ourselves to this sense of, and this idea of peace, peace in the world, peace within, peace, peace be with you. I mean, that's what we hear at church, peace be with, and also with you. These things that are repetitive in nature that we know is the right message, that we sometimes, move away from. How important are those messages that the church puts out there that are just so basic that we need to really connect to? So connect with yourself, connect with others, be peaceful, find your peace, find your inner peace, start there, and then spread that into the world and allow peace to be much more a part of your life. And for you, Cedric, thank you for sharing this piece of you.
I see what you did there.
And thank you so much for just bringing up a topic that we could probably revisit, on a regular basis. One of those, kind of ongoing, interesting, valuable things to talk about, and how it resonates for you and for me and for the listeners. And truly love and appreciate you, the listener, and you, Cedric. And I will say my goodbyes, and not goodbyes forever, but goodbyes until next episode for sure.
Yeah. Man, it's been an interesting one, man. Bringing it up. Appreciate us having this space. I appreciate you for letting me be me and you being you. I appreciate y'all joining us every week. Appreciate it. But yeah, like you say, man, peace be with you. And be the change. Be the change you want to be in your peace. If you want a more peaceful life, want to see more peace in the world, be it. Whatever it is, be it.
Love it.
Yeah. That might be a shirt coming. Be it. Be it. Right? And man, until I guess I won't say goodbye. I'll say see you later.
Yes.
I guess something like that. All right, y'all. Till next week. Namaste.